Alright, so I have read 2 books so far for the readathon. The first one I finished was My Salty Mary. That was really good. I want to go back to the series. I really liked it. And then I just finished this one, and I did not think that I was going to like it at all. I did not expect to enjoy it because it was just the banter in the beginning was very, not class, but the 2 houses, the 2 families have had this feud. And just, it was like every other line was, well, you're a Davies. Well, you're a Montgomery. Well, you're a Davies. And I'm like, I don't care. Tomato, tomato. Let's go. But the female main character was super cool. She was a map maker. And the male main character is okay, but I really like the female main character. And then the grand gesture was fantastic. It was totally a 5 out of 5 for me. But yeah. And I like the fact that there's a little bit of science and stuff into it as well. So really good. And I get it off of my TBR jar. So I'm winning. What's the next one? I really don't want to read Elisa Kleypas, so I'll read this one next. So I'm excited because April loves it. And she loved this one too and said that it was really good. So I believe her. So on to the next one. Alright. I think in the last clip I was reading The Mistress Experience. That was great. I gave it 5 stars. I think I would go back to that series. I really did like it. I can see why it's one of April's favorite historical romance books. So that was a great, recommendation. And then what else did I read? I listened to Cinder. That was really good. I'm going to continue with that series. I was expecting more of a happy ending. I did not expect that it was going to be, I don't know, so it took a turn, and I wasn't expecting it. And then I just finished this one, and I was eating it up. I started it Friday. Today is Wednesday of the next week, and I have been stuck on the same 50 pages most of the week. Like, I got through the book, and then Monday I was like, okay, I'm going to finish it. And then Tuesday I was I'm going to finish it. And then today I was like, I'm finishing this book. It was fantastic until the last 100 pages. I think she went back around to like the beginning of the book as like, oh yeah, I probably should tie that into the story, because she went from being out on the open waters and rebels and pirates and this guy losing his boat and being in Cuba and Florida and all that, to going to California with his family, and then it was just more like a telenovela, the rest of the book. And I'm like, Captain Simmons, oh my god. It just, some of the stuff didn't need to be there. But I do want to read more by her because I did enjoy it. I just, like I said, it dragged a little bit. So that's done. I started an audiobook, and I'm still working on Jane Austen, and I think I'm going to do one of the library books, because Jane Austen is pretty boring as well. But it could be that I was trying to read it at like 11 o'clock at night. So we'll see. Okay, follow up. DNF this. I got 30 something percent in. I got to page 112, I think. And it finally got to a point where it probably would have helped me to read the first one, but I don't know if I'd get into it. But most of the 100 pages is this poor woman is from the 1813, and she's in 2009, and her friends are crap and they don't know how to help her. And she meets up, I got to the part where she meets up with a friend that she randomly met at a party, and this friend knew a fortune teller kind of thing and said, you know, she might be there, she might not be there, but maybe this person can help you because Jane thinks that it's all due to her concussion. And it was so boring. It really was. So I am halfway through If the Tide Turns. That's pretty good so far. I really like that one so far. I'm curious how they're going to get Sam back to the girl. I can't think of her name right now. Yeah, I have no idea. But so far in that one, this young girl, I think she's like 17, 18, and she is being basically like auctioned off as part of the land by her family to this guy that it's right before the Civil War. And it's in, I want to say, where are they? Cape Cod, I think. And where the settlers are, they've ruined the land, and the land is becoming like clay, and they can't really have crops there or whatever. So with this girl and the marriage, this guy that is basically taking up all the land, the good land, and then taxing it and then selling the crops and things like that from it at a higher cost. So she's, you know, just what a lot of women were back then. And but she meets this young guy, Sam, who he was I'm still learning about pirateer and privateer. Like, they're two different things, but they're basically the same thing. Anyway, he is looking for a job because his boat had docked, and the crew that he was a part of, they had finished their journey, and he was like, okay, I need to find another job. And then he sees this young girl jump into the ocean, and he decides, okay, well, while I'm waiting to learn, you know, to get a job, I'll teach her how to swim, because that's something that she really wants to do. It's explained better in the book. And then they fall in love, and he knows that he is not going to be seen well by the father, but he shoots his shot and he gets denied. So he tells the girl, oh my God, I almost had her name again. Anyway, he tells the girl, hey, you know, can you wait for me? And I'm going to go, I found a job. I'm going to go out on this boat. I'm going to go get some money, and I'll come back and I'll propose again in a better station and with, you know, something to actually give to you. Well, he's gone, and she's preggers, and she's got to marry the guy that she was promised to. And she finds letters, and to find out that he's part of this whole elaborate thing to take land away from the indigenous that are still living there, and basically monopolizing this part of Cape Cod. So for her to get letters and information about Sam, because Sam makes some choices when he's out on the water and he ends up becoming a pirate captain, which he wasn't expecting to do. But so for her to get any kind of letters or anything, she makes friends with an indigenous woman that sells her wares at the dock. And she was like, okay, I'll get you information from my husband, you know, what he's doing and how he's buying the properties and whatever. And you give me information about what's going out on the ocean, because there's stories coming back. And Sam doesn't know that he can't come back to Cape Cod, because if he does, because he's now a pirate, he'll be hung. So that's where I'm at. But I actually want to stay awake so that I can listen to it. I'm glad that I decided to listen to it instead of read it, because I think I would have fell asleep. Anyway, I'm going to attempt to read this one. And then I'm doing pretty good on my TBR. I really am. I'm bored, but I'm doing good, where I'm actually figuring out where things are going to go and if I'm going to get rid of stuff or whatever. So I only have 3 books I really want to finish, and then the rest of them can just chill for another either readathon or when I feel up to it. But like I said, I'm doing pretty good. So that's where I'm at. Also, I listened to Surrender to Sin by Nicola Davidson. That is a smutty good time. If you love smutty, almost dark historical romance, I guess. It's not dark, it's just, so basically, in a nutshell, in 3 hours, you find out that there's this widow who, her father is promising her to some clergy guy, and she's like, I'm gonna ruin myself. So she talks with her, sorry, my hand's shaking. Oops, that's not helping. Okay, let's see if that helps. So she talks to the lady that helps her put her gowns on and everything. And she's like, okay, if I was going to ruin myself, who would I go to? And of course his name's Sebastian. And her lady's maid or whatever is like, you want to go here, it's this club, go there, you'll get ruined. And Sebastian, he has not like a dukedom, but he's got something like that puts him high and almost at her equal. So she shows up and she's like, look, I don't want to marry this guy. He's very, he's a clergyman. So if I'm ruined and I'm publicly shamed, I don't have to get married. And I don't want to get married. I already did this before. He died. I don't have to do this again. And she goes in like that. So he's like, all right, I'll do it for charity kind of thing. So they try 3 times. And this guy that she's promised to, he's like, well, I'm just gonna have to make you pay and pray for your sins, basically. And she's like, it's not working. So he and Sebastian owns, like, basically, I don't know if I can say, I'll bleep myself. Anyway, he owns a club, and he's like, all right, so listen, tonight or tomorrow night or one of the nights, we have this really big party that we do, and everybody wears masks, and this year it's pirate themed, and we'll just have you take your mask off and they'll know who you are. So she does it, and they send out an invitation to her betrothed. He shows up. He ends up trying to pull her to the asylum. It was crazy. For 3 hours. It was a smutty good time, but it was like the best soap opera ever. It was really good. So Jenny did a great job with that rec, because she was like, if you're looking for something like quick and easy that is historical romance but a little darker like, you might like this one. I was like, all right. And it was free on Audible, so that was a good time. Okay, I forgot to end the video. Why do I feel you're up too high? Doesn't matter. It's just a wrap-up video. Okay, so before the readathon ended on May 26th, I think it was. Was it Monday? Yeah, I think it was Memorial Day. I finished After the Forest, Scales and Sensibility, and Vacationing with the Vampire. Scales and Sensibility was absolutely adorable. I think that's the only way that I can read classics, is to have some kind of paranormal, weird thing to it, because I love Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. Love that book. And this was just as adorable. I loved The Little Dragon. I don't want to talk about it too much, because if I tell you what the book's about, I'm giving away the entire book. But yeah, it's been on my list for a while, and I got it for Christmas, and I thought it was perfect for the readathon as a retelling. I got that one in. After the Forest was fantastic. It's about Hansel and Gretel after the witch in the forest. It's got everything. It's got shifters and witchcraft and well, not witchcraft, but like, yeah, kind of witchcraft, because there's green witches, there's other types of witches, there's a grimoire that speaks. What else? The dwarf reminded me also of Rumpelstiltskin. The story of Snow White is intertwined into this. It was fantastic. And like, there were a few parts where I'm like, okay, I want more of the backstory, because there's this ruler that is looking for more money and labor. If you can't pay her taxes, you can work it off. And you find out where the people go later on in the book. It was awesome. I really liked that one. And then Vacationing with the Vampire was one of the 2 books I brought home from Leon Riley, and it was funny. It was really quirky and cute, and it's about this, she's a game coder, I think is what she does. She helps make video games, and on the launch date, something that she'd stayed up for whatever reason, had bugs in it, and they had to go in and find out why it didn't launch, and they had to do an investigation and all this other stuff. So she gets paid leave so that they can do the investigation, and she picks this random place that she can drive to, and it's this place called Hollows Cove, and it's one of those cute beachside towns, touristy things, but everyone that lives there is some kind of monster, fae, something, you know. So she rents, what was it? She rents the apartment above the bookshop, and the bookshop owner is a vampire, and it's about their love story and the cute little places that they went, or that she goes to, and then she's also trying to find herself, and it was cute. I mean, for, I think it was less than 200 pages, or 200, maybe a little bit more. It had a lot of story in it, so I enjoyed it. And then I just finished Kiss the Girl, finally. I have been trying to get to this book so many times, and it wasn't bad. I mean, I gave it 3 stars because it was a book. Like, if you've, hold on, let me turn off my air conditioner. Okay, so anyway, Kiss the Girl is a Little Mermaid retelling, and it's Simply Meant to Be, I think, is the name of the series. Don't quote me on that. But I loved If the Shoe Fits. I thought it was so cute and just perfect. Like, I just ate it up. And then By the Book was okay, but it was, you know, this one, I couldn't get into it. It's about these, like, young adults that are in their early 20s, and one is like a Disney Channel type performer, and her sisters have been performing since they were babies, and they were promised some time off, and before they had signed on for their next contract or whatever, they were promised, okay, you know, take some time off, do whatever. And the dad pulls in Ariel, and it's like, well, everybody else can do what they wanted to do except you, because you're the one that has talent, and we still need revenue to come in, so you're going on tour, and we're going to rebrand you and all this other stuff. She's like, no, I'm not going to do it. So she, and then that was the other thing, is that she had gone out with her sisters the night before to, like, celebrate their last show. And she meets Eric, and he is part of this up and coming band. And through the whole story, he and his band are, like, cursed. They keep saying that they're cursed because there's always something's going to go wrong. Like, the bus on the way to the gig breaks down, and then this happens and that happens. So when they're on their date, he finds out that the merch person can't do the merch station, so he offers it to Ariel. And so when she has her temper tantrum with her dad, she takes the job. So it really kind of follows the Little Mermaid movie story. Very, like, there's certain things that she took from the movie that you can see. Like, there's a dress that she wears at a wedding that they crash, and it's that dress at the end of the movie where she's running to Eric. It's that dress, but it's at a different thing. So it, like, I could see it, and I could see where she was, like, taking things from the movie to put it in. The one that I had the hardest time was trying to figure out who Scuttle was, because I'm like, who the heck's Scuttle? Like, I can figure out who, you know, is supposed to be Flounder, and Max and Grimsby and all them have their, like, they actually have things. And then Ursula's alter ego in the movie is Vanessa, and there's a Vanessa in this. And so I couldn't figure it out, and at the end of it, she does, like, a very Scuttle scene, and I'm like, oh my god, it was the bus driver. But it was cute, and I don't know, I'm glad I finally got it done. I'm glad that it's with the others, and all I have left of that series to get caught up is the Tangled one. So that was reading. If you can't tell from my background, we're going to camp. I'm going to Camp Nightmare. Ugh. And I will link the readathon for the month of June that I'll be doing. I'll put Dana's announcement video in the comment or in the description box. And then if you are a member of Mama Needs to Read Romance, B is doing something special with her members, and we're going on a staycation, and she made little passports for everybody. And I wasn't trying to be extra. It's just my printer has like magenta in the wrong one, so, and it was driving me nuts because, see, it was supposed to be black. But I think it'll be fun. Because my TBR, when it comes out, is going to be more Camp Nightmare themed. I think for the month of June, what I'm going to do is the other stuff that she has to do, and like I'll be part of the group that way. So like we're going to all watch a movie one night, and I have to find out what she means by listen to music. I'm excited to use the recipes and things like that on my main channel. And then there's also a make and learn part, and with little bro getting out of school soon, I can do fun stuff with him. He's not gonna like it, but it'll be fun anyway. So that's my plans going into June. And I can't wait to show you my big fat TBR for the bingo board for Camp Nightmare. And yeah, it was a month. Thank you to Crystal for hosting the Ever After-a-thon. Ever After, yeah. I can't think. I should be Flounder in Kiss the Girl Little Mermaid book, because I have not thought right. My brain has not brained right at all this week. So yeah, what was your favorite read? I don't know. This is what I ended up with. I think I'm at 13. Not sure. I was gonna try and read another one for tomorrow, but I'm just putting on the back burner and starting on June 1st. And I hope you're having a great day, great week. Comment down below what was your favorite read of the month, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.